Me and my clique and my bros started with nothing but dreams and a goal. Yeah, we used to sleep on the road before we started selling out these shows. Yeah.
Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy QMAJUR, and right now you're listening to the Dacomeuppod podcast, and we are your hosts. I am truly yours, QMAJUR. To my right is the beautiful TANYA.
Hey,
and to
what's
my
up?
left, it's the homie DJ Las Vegas. We call him Vegas, yo. Guys, what's popping? What you guys saying?
Hey, I had a good week. I took it off work this week and
Okay,
just,
nice.
to work on my business and focus on that and build up my inventory.
Nice.
So it's self-love without the vowels
Okay.
and co.
Okay.
Home fragrance and candles and possibly some body stuff down the line. It's coming. I'm cooking up a few things, you know what I mean? So, throughout the pandemic, I was doing makeup artistry and I'm still kind of doing it, but then it kind of stopped because, slow down completely, actually. So you have to pivot and just, make things happen. So what about you, Mr. Vegas?
Me too. I'm working on my business as well. I started making beats again, dropping a beat every day, set up my beat stars, all that, all that stuff that, producer needs to get done.
Nice. Can't wait to hear.
Yeah, man, I've been making beats every day, man. But what about you, bro? What you been doing?
That's what's up. For me, basically, I had one of those weeks where it was a little bit stressful, a little bit overwhelming. Had to take a couple days off and just kind of, rejuvenate, recoup, and yeah, back at it right now. We're working, getting things done, and yeah, that's what's up.
That's
Nice.
That's what's up.
That's
What's up?
So, tip of the week, right?
Yeah,
Tip
what's
of
a
the
tip?
week.
Tip of the week is knowing how to manage your stress. Now, I know a lot of independents, creatives, entrepreneurs, they run into stress, personal, professional, but knowing how to manage your stress is the key to your success. But more on that, like a little bit later on in the episodes when we get into our show, The Come Up, which is a new show.
Definitely, it
Yes.
is.
Definitely.
The come up.
Yes, the come up.
What's your? We have to say that. We have to say about the come up.
Well, the come up is a platform, right? So it's a platform to educate indies and creatives alike, right? Under individual journeys
Yeah.
to achieve greatness, success.
That's it.
We want to make it there,
Exactly.
And
You
we're
guys
gonna
listening? That's what
Dropping
the come
some
up is.
gems.
That's what the come up is. We here. It's our first episode. We just getting started, yo, and it's gonna be dope. Just stay tuned, engage with us, listen.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk and we're gonna get into some things.
And drop some comments.
Yeah, for
Yes,
to know what
yes.
you think,
For sure.
Exactly.
As they say on YouTube, like and subscribe.
Hit that like button.
Make
Make sure y'all comment below if there's any topics y'all want to hear. Yeah, all that stuff.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
That's what's up.
So today episode, we're gonna talk about the lifestyle of an indie. What it takes to be an indie artist. Some of the stress, some of the pros and the cons of being an indie artist. We're gonna dive into that right now. And first off, I would ask Dale, Dale, what's your definition of an indie, yo? What's your understanding of an indie?
Indie is someone that, is handling all aspects of the business by himself or with a small team. Just navigating the industry that they're in, dolo, so to speak. So, that's my definition of an indie.
That's a lot of work.
It is, right?
Many hats. Yeah, you're managing, you're doing your social media, you're doing your financing.
Marketing.
Marketing, yeah.
Oh, man.
And just to add,
Handling.
Creating? Oh, my gosh.
just to add to what Vegas is saying is that it's basically someone who's independent. Even if you're an artist, you're a creative, you're a business owner, you have a food store, whatever you do, once you're independent, that all ties into being an indie. And at some point, any one of us, we get the opportunity to be an indie, whether it's business, whether it's talent or whatever it is, you get to be an indie in some form or the other though. But again, and the thing about being an indie now, you can be an indie and then there's the side of being corporate or even being on a major when we're talking about, let's dive into being an artist or something like that, artist or creative or anything like that. There is that
a musician.
Yeah,
that kind of thing, right?
There's that the pros and cons of being an indie versus being someone that's signed or working for a corporation or anything like that. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit still, yo? As far as the difference between
indie and corporate?
Yeah.
Well, corporate or the machine. Corporate is just the people that want to own your stuff, right? Like if you're, some people, they become very successful as indies and and the corporate come into the picture and they say, hey, Krispy Kreme, I like what you did, here's a contract. Let me buy out your building and let me buy out your rights, And, some little guys, that been struggling because, indies struggle. Independent people struggle for sometimes years, decades, centuries. They'd be like, okay, fine. Give me 100 million, you can have it, right? And then the machine takes over. But then when the machine takes over, sometimes the quality suffers.
Correct.
And that's in all forms of
Correct.
business that we talk about, right?
I would add to what you're saying in terms of like the money. Like, let's say that you're coming up, you don't really have a whole lot of money, for example, whatnot, and then they want to give you advance, like you said, let's say 100 grand. In hindsight, that's a lot of money because you've never seen it.
Yeah, exactly.
But on the back end, they're expecting that money back, plus profit off of what you're doing.
Definitely.
So it's and so what happens if you're not selling? Then what happens?
You know what's a good example of that? Have you seen the New Edition movie? You see what happened to them?
Yes,
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah, they got screwed still.
But a lot of them back then, especially in that era,
Yeah,
they didn't know any better, right? So they would sign these deals, and the corporations have their masters, and they can do whatever they feel like with the masters because they could score from movies, commercials, etc. And the artist is not getting anything really out of it, right?
And it's because of the reimbursement. It's because they give them an advance, but you have to pay back your advance.
Yeah.
But that's what they don't tell them, right?
No.
And then they give them their lawyers.
Yeah.
And also just it
goes on and on and on.
It goes on
We'll dig into
like-
it,
It goes deep.
And just even recently, Anita Baker, she has that problem dealing with right now when it comes to her label that she was signed to probably 30, 35 years ago, where they don't want to release her masters to her, and she has to be in court with them trying to get back her masters, and it's a big issue right now in the music industry. Right now, it's a big issue. We heard about Kanye, we heard about even Tory Lanez, we heard about a lot of artists.
So
right
many
now.
of them.
Taylor Swift, that
Mm-hmm.
lost their masters to their company, or their masters got sold to a company without their even
Without the
knowing
knowledge.
or even getting the opportunity to buy it back. And that's the hard part about it, though.
Yes.
Because some of these artists, they have the budget, they have the money to buy back, but
At least give them the chance to buy it back first.
no.
Right?
No, they're not doing that.
I think that would have been fair, but
and that's just a lot. That's just a lot that comes with the difference between being an indie and working with a corporation or being signed to a major label, and there's a lot of pros and cons. Like I would say, if we're talking about pros and cons, what would you say is one of the pros being an indie artist versus being an artist that's signed to a label?
Well, one of the pros is just owning your own stuff, like being able to control where your music goes, being able to control your fan base, being able to control your creative, because as artists, that's where we shine. That's why people love us. They love what we do. They love how we make our stuff. They love the process. We love Lil Wayne because, he has that lighter in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? In the beginning of the songs, it's he's like, all right. We love that.
Yeah.
What if someone took that from us?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
You know
true.
what I'm saying? That's
true.
the pro, like being able to just be yourself. You know what I'm saying? With no filters.
Yeah.
That's one of the pros I respect about
What you
being
think, Sha'Carri?
independent.
That's true.
Being an independent artist, what you say is one of the pros, or even not even just an independent artist, just being an independent, whether you're entrepreneur, what were you thinking?
Well, I think being an independent, it's a lot of work, right?
Definitely.
So, coming into it, I think that sometimes people might forget how much work goes into someone who's really like at let's say, international level.
Yeah.
Right? Some of them have a big machine pumping behind them, and then they have like a reach to a lot of people. They have access to different people. So I would say that maybe that might be like the pro on the corporate side if you do a deal. But then nowadays, because there's like social media, there's different platforms, you can have access to different things, different rooms. You can meet different people directly that can kind of help you out. You know what I mean? You can negotiate that deal a little differently. So now as an indie, you have a little bit more like control on how, even if you were, let's say, negotiating with a corporate to get like a distribution deal or a marketing deal, but you keep you own your own
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
and all the
yeah.
creative
Yeah.
part of it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You control it,
Yeah.
but because that they have the distribution to the masses,
Yeah.
Exactly.
then you can
exactly.
partner with them, right? So I think you could use it to your advantage these days.
Definitely,
Yeah.
and that's a big topic nowadays. Now, when it comes to music or just being an indie, just being
Yeah.
able to own your own stuff, whether it's your masters, whether it's your rights to your business, whatever it is, just being able to own it. That's a big deal now. It's something that's in style, I would say, quote unquote, right now when it comes to people just being educated on those type of topics, and just to even add to what you're saying, to like being one of the pros of being independent or anything like that, is just the fact that when you're independent, you have control over everything that you do.
Yes.
Right?
For
And
sure.
then it gives you a lot of bargaining power when it comes to taking it to the marketplace or to the masses. You understand? And you get the opportunity now to even have a voice in your business, or have a voice in whatever you're doing when it comes to your craft, your business. I'm talking up from the perspective of being an artist, because I'm an artist, and I know when it comes to being signed to a major label versus being indie, a major label controls a lot of your content, what you say, what you do, who you market to, you know, and they have a lot of power over you, when you basically have to sit back and just, you know, watch things go into place and be placed here and there, versus being an indie. You get the opportunity to market how you want to market, put out when you want to put out, dress how you want to dress, express yourself how you want to express yourself, deal with any form of content you want to deal with. So I think it's a big difference, and it's a big thing when it comes to indie versus major.
Corporate. Yeah,
major.
yeah.
It's definitely a big thing, and that's something we definitely have to like be behind when it comes to being any type of creative. Something that we need to be aware of, I should say.
Yeah, definitely. I think that with India, the opportunity, I think moving forward in the future is that if you like as an artist, you build your fan base, it's your fan base.
Yes.
Correct.
100%.
And the people will let you know whether things are going to move and shake and make things happen. So you can leverage that if anybody wants to collaborate with
Exactly.
you, or sponsorship even, right? So it's more of that they would like tend to align with what you're doing and your values and what you're trying to push out
Exactly.
in order to be able to sell the product. You know what I
Definitely.
mean? So
And there's so much grounds to cover when it comes to that topic, you know. And next thing we're definitely getting to is networking, you know. That's which is super important, as any indie business or any business period.
Yep.
Networking
Yep.
and marketing, all these things are super important, you know. And it's something that we definitely have to get into and definitely discuss. Deal.
But that's like the benefit sometimes of having like a corporate backing. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to do the networking, because networking is not easy. You know what I'm saying? Some member there's creatives and entrepreneurs and people that don't like to talk to people, like
Yeah.
they're antisocial. So the networking aspect becomes difficult, and like you said, we need networking to sell. You know what I'm saying? So maybe like a pro of a corporate, or somebody like with money behind you, is they're gonna do the networking for you. They're
Yeah.
the social people. They'll be like, hey, this is my guy, Fabrice. He's spraying everything. He's awesome. Like, make sure you listen to him instead of like, cause Fabrice, he doesn't talk. Like, he's just like, so like,
yeah.
you
might have someone with
networking.
influence behind you. Yeah.
Exactly. So you have to know, like, with being in independent entrepreneur, whatever, networking, you have to develop those skills. It's mandatory to develop those skills.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
can't be antisocial if you're gonna be in business. Period. If you want to be by yourself, otherwise, go get a deal.
Or I would say maybe like as an indie,
or get a manager, right?
get a manager
Someone to
or a
talk for you.
PR person to help you with that aspect of it if you're not good at it, right? And and that way it could open up doors to like different places that you may not normally go to, right? So sometimes like socially you have a go-to place where you're comfortable
Yes.
Right.
in,
Yes.
but a lot of the times those are not the places where you're gonna meet the money makers that's
No.
gonna make and
Exactly.
shake, right? You know what I mean? That's why like a lot of just corporate business or whatever, the golf course was, a popular thing just
yes.
because you would just meet everybody
Anybody
and
and
anybody
everybody.
who does and
Anything
moves
and
and shakes
everything.
and
Yeah,
everything,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Definitely.
And but you would
Good
never really
analogy.
meet them anywhere else. I remember watching an interview with E40, and he was like, you know why I go to the games and I'm sitting like by the court side? Obviously, he can afford it because he's been in the game forever, right?
Yeah.
But it's still a principle, right? Is kind of a gem for me that he's there because he knows he's going to be sitting with the Silicon Valley, execs, the billionaires, or the, so what's up on the next technology? So but they're at a game, right? So usually they know who he is.
Right.
So they're like, oh, I'm a big fan. Oh, you listen to me? Oh, I would never guess that you listen to me because you're a nerd tech guy, right?
And speaking of E40, he's a smart man. He actually owns like burger shops and stuff. Like he's not just a rapper. You know what I'm saying?
He's
a
in the
rapper
business game,
and he owns
Yeah.
like burger
A
shops
lot.
in LA.
Yeah.
Like
A
a
lot.
franchise owner of a lot of burger shops.
Chris Brown too. There's a lot of
You know
them.
what I'm
that
saying?
own
There's a lot of them, yeah.
I can't-
Cameron owns a waffle shop.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these rappers, they're just not sticking to like the basis of being a rapper. Like they're using their funds to fund other companies. But I guess we can
They're
elaborate
spread out.
that.
Yeah.
In other
bit later.
episodes,
Yeah,
but yeah.
definitely.
You know?
But one of the things that I want us to jump into is like the power for an independent person on social media, yo.
Oh.
I mean, like back in
There's
the day,
nothing like it.
Back in the
yeah.
day, when you were as an artist, you had to, if you got signed to a major label, they did all your marketing, they did all your distribution and stuff like that. But right now, artist, singer, dancer, whatever form of creative you are, yo, social media is the thing now. We're living in a social time now where everybody's using social media.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the power of social media and the marketing power when it comes to
There's
social
so many, I mean, because people are visual, and if you're like into visual stuff, let's say if you're a graphic designer, right? And then you want to market your stuff and you want to gain clients, well, you just put up all your work and you have your portfolio on your work on Instagram, and you can tag different people, you can send it to people, you can DM people, you can send it. So there's so many like avenues. I mean, that's one example, as
What
a
about
makeup
you
artist.
with self-love.co, like using social media as a platform, how do you reach out, you know what I'm saying, to people to sell your candles and stuff, like, or what do you think your idea would be when it comes to that?
You know what I've come to learn, because I watch other YouTubers and other Instagram, and I study other people as well that are successful, you know what I mean? Build a story behind your brand, right? And go with that story. And then it's not only just posting my product, but there's a story behind the product. There's a reason why, there's a purpose to it. So the pictures, and then sort of like there's different images creating an ambiance, what it would feel like, what would remind you of certain smells, etc. You know what I mean? So you really have to think outside of the box
Yes,
Right.
promote
to
your
engage people so they can relate to what you're talking about. So I think that goes for across the board, really.
product. So you're not
You know
just
what I mean?
so you're not just picking up a candle and taking a picture and throwing it on the ground. You're actually building some sort of like rapport around that coffee smell, like maybe someone's sipping a coffee and you just have the
I think
candle
he likes
there
the coffee
burning.
smell, yo.
No, I love the coffee because it would
That's
hit
dope,
me,
it's dope.
dog.
Yeah,
My eyes opened like, whoa. It was the caffeine hit my eyeballs, dog, when I smelled that.
It's the truth right here.
I'm
yo.
telling you, but
You
yeah,
gotta
so
forget this.
you're saying that art, like independents or creatives and entrepreneurs, they need to build something around the brand that they're.
Yeah.
What about a rapper? How does a rapper do that though? Q, like you're a rapper, like how do you build a story behind, like, say, a release?
For me, for release, we going project or single?
Say 21. How did you promote that project through social media?
Oh, for 21. So social media, it basically advanced a lot from when it now started to now. There's a lot of science that goes into marketing now. And with Facebook taking over Instagram, everything is paid. So there's paid advertisement, there's paid promotion and stuff like that too.
That's right, the ads,
So,
yeah.
so you run your ads. You run your ads on Facebook. You run your ads on Instagram as well too. You start off with a budget that you could afford, and you start promoting your stuff. One of the things that I do too, I also get some of my friends to share it on their storyline and
Yeah,
on Facebook,
that's right, that's right.
Instagram, so it reaches more people, in that type of way. And you push. You have to push. It's a constant push. Being an indie artist, you have to be constantly behind your brand. You have to be constantly coming up with ideas, marketing ideas. Whether, like for instance, recently with X-Cosign, one of the things that we did, we had a promotion where we give away a couple pieces of merch and a $50 Amazon card, you know, and we had a marketing strategy behind it where, you know, you follow this, you tag this, and, you know, we raffled it out and, you know, so you have to be innovative and find different ways how to market your song. Some people do like little documentary videos.
Right.
Charge it to my tongue, not my heart, right?
That's all right.
You know, those type of things, you know, to do marketing, to give a story, as you said before, to give a story behind the single, you know, so people could be more connected with it. So that's definitely one of the things that or some of the things that I would do when it comes to marketing a single and stuff like that. As an indie, you sign, you have a bigger budget, then. There's so much.
But the key is to be consistent.
Yeah,
Consistency.
But yeah, 100%.
Consistency, right?
For sure. With anything,
Yes.
right? With
Well,
anything.
yeah, yes. Because the
And
thing
not
is
giving up.
like you start building an audience, or you're building fans, or you're building people or potential clients. Now they expect to see something.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, they have a certain expectation on you. So you know, consistency is big.
You
Yeah,
have
100%.
to,
Yeah.
100%.
have to stay consistent. You know, and even as we're talking about being consistent, we definitely could touch on some of the etiquettes that goes into being an indie or being a business. You understand? All across the board, like things that are super important, like, you know, presentation, punctuality, consistency. All these things play a major part in us being successful with our platforms, because, you know,
Yes, definitely.
you're inviting other people into your little space or your little world. You understand? And your presentation is a big thing. People want to see something that is consistent. They want to see something that makes sense, that they could connect with, connect to. You know, and those are some of the things that you see on social media. Even business people just don't practice proper presentation. Tanya, you could test it out. You could tell us how important presentation is when it comes to just business across the board, or even being whatever artist or creative. How important it is.
Well, presentation is very important, because the thing is that it's not you alone, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few things, right? There's always someone watching you, one. So regardless of whether you don't want to be a role model or not, you know, there's always somebody watching you, or you might be an inspiration to someone, right? And also, there's people that you want to collaborate with,
Right.
you know, and they may be big brands that may be interested in what you're doing as well. So depending on how you negotiate it, you know, how you want to work with them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, recently, you know, a couple of things that have happened in terms of, well, we'll go on the athlete side now.
Yes,
But Naomi, Osaka, right? Well, for me, I think she's a young woman tennis player. You know, she's really up there, right behind Serena Williams, basically.
She's actually ranked
you know?
second in the world right now.
Right now, yeah. See?
Second.
And that was quick, too. Like, she came out of nowhere, and she just...
I feel like it's only this year, like I've heard of her, yo. Only this year, I feel like I've heard of her.
But she hasn't been there that long at the top, right? You know, she got it, so she's really good. And then, you know, when she needed to take a break, and she, you know, decided not to participate in the tournament, in the Open out in France, it was like a big thing, but she needed to take care of her mental health, right? So now to me, it's like, okay, well, you're being at a global level, you're a top paid athlete. There's a lot of pressure on you. All eyes are on you.
Yeah.
They want you to do, and this is where we're talking about the corporate side of things, where in your contract, it stipulates that you have to do these media circles, all these interviews. And she's saying, you're all asking me the same questions, and it's right before you start playing. Anxiety goes up, all the pressure. She needed to take a break, you know? So, you know, they were like up in arms, and oh my God, you know.
But think
and
of it
they
like,
wanted to find her.
They did find her.
Yeah,
They did find her, right?
Did,
So,
yeah.
Was 40,000?
I'm not sure about the price. It's either
It was
15,000 or
crazy,
40,000. But think of it like this: if I run like WPT, like the world WTP World Tennis Promotions or whatever, and my big star is pretty much telling me to F off, like I'm not going to do your media runs. How does that make me feel? Like I'm investing in you. You know, you're the second ranked tennis player in the world, bro. Like you can't be disrespecting me. Like we're gonna have to do something about it. You're breaking your contract. Like you know. So I understand she needs to take care of her mental health, but you are on a scale where you are looked at, like you said, as a role model to young women, Japanese women, because she's Japanese and
Haitian.
Haitian people.
yeah.
You are a role
Sakbase.
model to those people.
Italian people
My,
still.
you know she represents
And that's
Japan
like
when
a
she
little
does world stuff, huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So
yes,
you
yes.
are like
Yes,
they made like
yes.
cartoons about her. You can't be you can't be like doing these type of stuff and messing up your presentation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because of that. But I get it.
But on the flip side, I
get
think
it.
that
I
it
get the health part. I get
kind
it.
of opens up the eyes to these corporations because they have no idea what it's like to play. Like
They don't care what it's like.
Okay,
That's
no,
a
but they don't
corporation.
care. That's true.
Business
That's
model,
true. That is the best one. They don't care. Yeah. And then Venus came out and saying like, you can't play how I play. You can't like she put it out there as I guess a clapback kind of a
Yeah.
clapback, you know, with that situation because they understand the pressure
Right.
because she's an athlete as well,
She was
right?
clapping back at the corporation or the organization.
Like media
Okay,
in general,
okay.
make them understand, right? 'Cause they understand the world, and a lot of different athletes were in support
Right.
of Naomi.
Right.
You know,
And she's young too, right?
And she's young.
She's
you know,
not
and
like-
she does a lot, and
She's not.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and she's strong, and I'm not sure who's behind her because I remember that there was interviews when Serena Williams was younger. Her father was always there, and if the media would overstep the boundaries, he would step in and be like, "That's enough."
Right.
You
Okay.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you have to protect them.
Definitely.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, so I think it's good in a sense that change is going to happen because all of these other organizations around the world are like, okay, you know what, we're going to back you up. What do you need? What changes need to be happening in order to make it easier?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, they still want to make money, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So then they need their top players to play.
Yeah.
You know what? The guy,
It's sweet.
the football guy, Beast Mode. I don't remember his name, but he goes by Beast Mode. He doesn't like to talk at media. So what he does, he just sits there and he just doesn't say nothing. If they ask him questions, he just say like, you know, grab a bite of Skittles or something, whatever he's
Yeah, wow.
sponsoring.
Yeah.
He's not playing. He doesn't say much. Even what's his name too, the
Okay.
basketball player, the one from Washington. He doesn't say nothing to the media either.
That's like Kyrie too. Kyrie was sort of like
Okay.
that though.
Like
Kyrie never used to sit too
they
much
don't
either.
say nothing. Like
Yeah.
they ask these weird questions to them, and then they just finish playing like 48 minutes of basketball. Like why you
catch
guys
my
talking
breath.
to me?
And
Like
the same
Yeah.
questions
you
that they
know?
ask you
Yeah,
Over and
last
over.
game.
some people are just not good with it, right?
And the media has a way of twisting your words and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know?
But like I said, it's still a corporation, and they still need to play their part as athletes on a bigger scale.
That's fair. I can,
Yeah.
I
They
can-
need
Yeah.
they need to do it.
I guess they should have some type of clause in their contract where they
Maybe
put
do, like,
they put something in
Renegotiate.
place.
Three
Yeah.
media runs out of every
Yeah.
5 games
Yeah,
or something,
yeah,
and you
yeah.
can not do the 2. Or they
Yeah.
got to do something, right? Something has to change in terms of
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Maybe you're like multiple like reporters in one room like one time as opposed to doing like 10 different stops for
But,
10
no.
different questions.
the
right?
reporters got to be there because any news conference has reporters. Like there's different reporters from different cities,
Yeah.
so that has to happen.
Gonna
Like,
be there, though.
Yeah.
they have to be there.
What you guys think about Miss Richardson?
Sha'Carri.
Sha'Carri, yo.
Is it Sha'Carri?
Yeah.
Is it Sha'Carri?
Sha'Carri. Sha'Carri, yeah? We
Sha'Carri?
apologize for the Shakira.
Shakira?
Is it
Huh?
Shakira?
Like hips don't lie?
Like
No.
No, Shakira, not the singer.
Not the
Shakira. We're not talking about
My girl,
Shakira.
The athlete.
There's an
athlete.
athlete, Sha'Carri. Hey Siri,
Guys, we apologize.
is it Sha'Carri Richardson or Shakira Richardson?
Let's see what Siri says.
I didn't get that. Could you try again? She doesn't understand me. But it's Sha'Carri. I think it's Sha'Carri.
I think so.
What?
there's nothing to repeat.
Oh, hush your
Okay, Siri, take it on.
It is
here.
Shakari.
It's Sha'Carri.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
what's going on with her?
Sha'Carri, yo.
tell the people.
We basically, just recently she got fined for smoking weed, yo, while she was getting ready for the Olympic Games and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And it was a big media storm, a big storm in the media, yo, when it comes to smoking weed before games and stuff like that. No, my thing with this is that we understand that you're not supposed to be doing drugs before, not even before, as an athlete period, you're not supposed to be doing drugs. You understand? Because they could look at it at so much different ways to look at it. Some people might think it's enhancements, drugs, and all these different things.
For performance, yeah.
So this is my question, Let me hear what you guys think about it, right? Now, different parts of the world now, they start legalizing marijuana, right? So it's no longer considered to be a legal drug to the point where you can actually buy a certain amount and it's legal and stuff like that. So if it's not no longer illegal, right? It's a hub. We know it's a hub, right? Why are we paying penalties for smoking weed before a game? What's you guys take on that?
Who wants to go first?
Versus
Tanya, you going first?
Versus steroids or
Going first?
or
Sure.
cocaine
Yeah,
or
go-
crack cocaine or whatever. What you guys think?
Go
about
ahead,
that?
Tanya. Go ahead.
Oh gosh, there's a couple of things. I mean, okay, so yeah, they have the rules set or whatever, and basically the drug rules set is basically to prevent enhancing, like, performance type drugs, right? But we all know that munchies and just being laid back is what comes after
Right, true.
the weed, right? So I think that's what the really, like,
The company?
imagine if she was running without it, though. Like, she must be like laid back. That's what I'm thinking. She would perform better without it. Like, what's you really think that it was like,
I never thought that would have been a problem, though. I know about steroids, we know about different enhancement drugs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I never knew that weed would be classed as like a threat on your health. Or
I don't think they're caught up with the
stipulations when it comes
legalization.
to, it's so touchy.
Yeah,
Some people
yeah,
will
it
be
is.
like, it's a drug and she shouldn't be taking it before any form of games. And then some people will be like, yo, it's not a drug, it's a herb. Everybody smokes weed. You go, we look at on television, some of these news anchors and them, they come and they bring the news to you.
Speak on
They've been
it.
smoking weed
Oh,
before they come on set.
and more stuff.
It's so much. It's such a complex type of topic, though. But Dale, let me hear your take on it.
So basically, think of it like this, right? Think of it, we're talking about corporate, indie, blah, blah. So corporations, right? Think about if everybody had the pass to smoke weed, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what weed does to you, right? Weed, it slows you down. It relaxes you, right? Makes you feel less anxious, correct?
Yeah.
So, right? So, and yes, it would be a disadvantage. But imagine a lot of athletes are allowed to do this. How would the games be? Sloppy. The games won't be as fun, lazy. There's top celebrities be advertising weed smoking, so the young fans can be like cool with that stuff. Though you have to think about the youth, right? They're thinking about
impact,
listen, Olympics happens every 4 years, right? They do runs every so often. But if an Olympic ban, an Olympic is worldwide. You said some countries in the States, some countries in Europe. But what about like these small countries that outlaw that stuff?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How's that look on those people?
Right.
They have to look at it through a whole. You
On a
are
global
competing
scale, yeah.
on a global level, not like a local level, not national, international, global level, bro. You can't be messing up your chance at, representing your country by smoking weed when you could do that maybe after that's done. You know what I'm saying? Or you you just can't be messing up like that. That's just crazy.
So here's my question.
That's crazy. You can't be messing up your chance at representing your country to its highest level on a global scale by smoking weed. And you know the rules.
So my question is, do you think that it hurt her brand, though?
Of course. It never hurt her brand, but it hurt her personally. You know what I'm saying? Because now she can't compete in the Olympics. The Olympics is one of probably, like, if I used to run track and field, my goal would be as a track and field star to be in the Olympics.
Yeah, that's
true.
highest,
That's my highest pinnacle.
Yeah.
Because you want to represent and bring the gold. Yeah.
I want to be able to go home I want to be home to
and
Canada.
just knowing that she did so well, yo, in all the rest of trials and competition, yo, and to come at that moment and just mess it up like that, yo.
Now,
and that goes back to that could tie into your presentation, yo.
That yes, it
How you
does.
present yourself and stuff like that. And if you don't present yourself well, you lost a lot of opportunities.
Now to defend her, I heard somewhere that she did that because something happened to her mother. I don't know if she passed or she was sick or
Yeah, I think her
whatever.
mom passed.
Oh, I
think her mom passed.
see.
She
Okay.
did that to cope with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, and still, like, you have a competition to do. Unfortunately, mama's probably dear to her heart. You have to mourn after you finish competing. You take all that pain with you to the Olympics. You kill the competition. You
Bring
come
gold
home,
for mom,
and you
yeah.
go smoke a pound to your face and cry. That's what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? You can't be doing that. You can't be smoking pounds before the competition.
And I think
It's a serious lesson to them. Go ahead, Tanya.
and I think for the corporation too, like if they let that go, right? So in the years to come, what else are
Correct,
we gonna
correct.
Are we
push
gonna
to
let
pass?
slide?
Correct,
Let
correct,
slide,
correct.
right?
Look
so
at
I
the
think
swimmer.
They just have to,
They never let the swimmer pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think they're gonna let her pass?
Yeah.
And she's black?
And it's true. And that's the next thing, too. The thing about it, too, is like...
Yeah.
Respectfully?
I think a lot of people... Like, I get what you guys are saying, and I agree with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people are here saying, like, yo... But weed is not a drug. Why are you guys...
That's not the point.
Why are you guys even pulling her out of the Olympics?
Whether it was a drug or not a
when-
drug, it's been a drug.
when
It's
you
been a
guys-
drug for the last decade.
When you guys
2
legalized
decades
it,
ago,
tell us we can
4
buy
decades
it.
ago, it was a drug.
You know? That's how a lot of people are looking at it. Yo,
The
but I
change
mean-
happened
Yeah,
in the last
true.
5 years. It's not going to change permanently for the next 10.
People are gonna have different perspectives though, but I agree with you 100%. When it comes to you're under a corporation, you're a brand as big as that, you have to take responsibility for your actions, and you have to understand that there's a lot of people and a lot of kids that are looking up to you. And I know she just get pushed into this new form of celebrity or spotlight or popularity, however you want to put it though. And she has to learn very quickly that life is never going to be the same as far as my presentation when it comes to being a public persona.
It's pretty big though, because you're representing your whole country.
The whole country.
That's the thing.
So it's definitely a lesson to learn in there, yo.
But
Yeah,
listen
definitely.
to this. I want to do a little quick. Let's do a little quick rundown. The World Cup just finished. Italy won. Congratulations to everybody. You know, all the Italians.
Yes,
Big up the Italian them.
Yes.
But they won because 3 footballers lost the penalty kick. They missed the penalty shot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 3 of them, 3 black kids
And what happened
lost
to them?
And they were berated by a bunch of English people calling them names, racist, every
racism
slur out the
is
book.
insane.
I watched something where
Yeah.
like other people like from different countries, they were, of the opposite color. They missed shots, but they never got that kind of flack.
Yeah,
But the
yeah,
3 youth, oh my God, they treated them the worst. How does that look on the presentation of England itself?
Yeah.
As a football company, even as a country itself.
Yeah.
How does that look on the presentation? Because it's the same thing, right?
That's for us to even go into that, yo. That's a deep rabbit hole to go down. But it says a lot about the country. It says a lot about what people place value on. Humanity versus a sport. Even though there's a lot of money invested into it, and there's a country that is backing it, because England, they always want to be the powerhouse. Just
They are.
Yeah, exactly.
Their pound is crazy.
And especially in Europe too. Especially in Europe,
Yeah.
they want to be like, yo, we're those guys. You understand? And
yeah.
so they would go hard to be. Think about it. To be England being beaten by Italy, that's a topic for the next 4 years, yo. In the football world,
Yeah.
amongst football fans, that's a big topic to talk about. You, as a Brit, you can't come around me. You can't say to me like, "Oh, we're better off than you." Yeah, you're better. You're a stronger country than we. You guys have stronger infrastructure as a country. But guess what? We're better than you guys when it comes to soccer, though. And soccer is super important when it comes to the European culture. So it's a lot that goes into it, and what you're saying, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy that...
I mean, it's all good with the competition. I mean, that's all friendly competition. Is the back and forth, and it's all
And
good.
the
That's where the
racism
fun
that
or
gets
whatever.
into there.
But the racism that gets into it, listen, those guys are not your puppets.
Exactly.
Like, you don't treat them like that. Because
human
if
first,
they won, you would have never said anything because you benefited from that. Like, what are you trying to say?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And then I don't know if the owners of the team said anything. I don't know. I know the prime minister was talking about blocking something about social media or whatever and trying to
really?
like track down the people. Yeah, because it makes them look bad.
Yeah, it does. It
Like
does.
really bad. Like it
Presentation.
has no place.
especially us now coming out of COVID, where so much people die.
Ah.
We're supposed to be as the world right now is supposed to be very connected, very
You would,
together.
Very
you would have
connected.
thought that they would learn something, right?
After
Yeah.
we went through so much craziness in this COVID pandemic, man, and now we're having soccer competition, the first major competition. Well, besides NBA, right? But we know soccer is more universal than
Yes.
than
Yeah,
basketball,
yeah,
right?
on the go
of course
to,
it
yeah.
is.
So, and then even though it's Euro Cup, you're still going to get fans from
It's
all over
football.
the world.
Of
looking at
course,
it.
Yeah,
of
it's
course.
football.
You would think that
There's no fans like football fans,
No,
like
exactly.
soccer,
Like
football.
soccer fans, you
yeah.
know? But yeah, and you think that the sport would bring us together, yo, and show love and all these different things. But here we are again, yo, right back where we started, yo, and it was poor, man. It was poor. But shout out to Italy, yo. for
Yeah,
winning the
yeah,
Euro Cup,
yeah,
yo.
yeah.
England probably next time. Probably next time. And shout out to all Italians, yo, in the city, yo, in Toronto, all over Canada. I know you guys are definitely celebrating, yo.
I love
Yes.
lasagna.
Yeah, we love the pizza.
I love spaghetti.
know you
I
guys
love
are
fettuccine alfredo. I
Even
love
on that
that.
note, yo,
I
I
love
mean, like
that.
driving down the highway for the last week was crazy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone had their Italian flags up. I hardly see any British flag, to be honest.
Bro, I seen
Yeah.
a Sri Lankan in the Italian
Yes,
parade
yes,
representing
yes.
Italy.
I love it though. I love the spirit though.
Yeah, it
I
was
love
dope.
it.
It was
I love
dope.
it.
It was
Yeah.
dope. It was
After
dope.
everything is like to see that is like a breath of fresh air. Like
yeah,
there's
yeah,
some
yeah.
like
It was dope.
Yeah, the
Joy in the
city
place,
soon
yes.
free up.
It's definitely dope.
City soon free up.
definitely,
And that's
definitely.
what we're about here on the Come Up, man. We just
Yeah.
here, like, we're about just educating people, giving everybody, some game on as far as the process when it comes from point moving from point A to point B, and just being able to give people, knowledge and insight on stuff, information. We're basically an information hub, if you could put that out there.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
And
it.
that
Yeah.
was up. What else we have on the
I think we got a couple of shout outs, right?
Oh yeah.
We-
Oh
we
yes.
got-
We're gonna shout out first. A shout out Yogi Digital,
yeah.
Most
young
definitely.
camera guy doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? You work with Yogi a lot.
Yogi, yeah. Definitely shout out Yogi, yo.
Yogi,
That's
yeah.
my guy, buddy. Respects, yo, on all the work that we've done together when it comes to, if you've seen my videos or anything like that, yo, he's the guy behind it.
That's
100%, yo. He's been doing some great work, yo.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely recommend him, guys. Go check him out.
That's
Shout
it.
out to
Yes.
Yogi and
And my niece, my goddaughter, my niece, my daughter, whatever. She DJ Love Jones, man.
DJ Love Jones. What up?
Love
She's
Jones.
about to be on Honey Jam in August.
Shout out to Honey
So
Jam. Yeah.
y'all
That's
tune
major.
into that.
That's
Yeah,
major.
man.
Yeah.
She's
Very
not even
good
supposed
platform.
to. It's from like 14. She's 12. So
Oh,
they,
wow,
they heard
really?
her. They heard her, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna send to the show around her.
Nice. The
Um,
platform's been there for a very
forever,
long
yeah.
time, and
Like-
it's really
And
good
she's-
platform,
She's
Yeah,
talented,
yeah,
yo. I heard some
yeah.
of her stuff.
Yeah.
She's on her way, though.
She
definitely-
DJs. She
That's
raps.
amazing.
She definitely on her way.
Her new single's out, Fresher Than You. It's out right now, and we're working on the video. It's gonna come out soon, and her new song, "Protecting All Children," is coming out too. We're working on that
Nice.
video. That's the song
Nice.
that we're gonna do at Honey Jam. Because of the whole. We wrote this song before the bodies came out of the ground, but
Wow.
we gotta protect all children regardless. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
'Cause
absolutely.
every child matters, right?
Absolutely,
Right?
absolutely. Yeah, all children matters.
Guys, just
Absolutely.
even before we even get into the other stuff, yo, I just wanted to touch really quickly on Tory's story, yo.
Oh yes.
Tory
Oh yeah,
Lanez
yeah.
story.
He has a
Like,
good come up
we're here,
story. Yeah.
We're talking about the come up, and we're talking about different things that contribute to the come up. And we wanted
Mm-hmm.
to highlight Tory Lanez, his come up story, at least a bit of it. Just want to dive into it and just kind of dissect some things when it comes to his story and him moving from corporate or being signed to a major label
Mm-hmm.
to him being indie and owning his own label right now. Big shout out to Tory for that. And what do you guys think about that though? Deal. We think about him leaving the major and going independent, yo.
Whether it's a leave thing or a drop thing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know contract wise, but I mean being independent, obviously, and getting the love that he got through the majors, it allowed him to move independently and still move units, because now everything that the major would have got a cut out of, they don't, right? So now when Umbrella gets more of the pie, right? They'll probably get 80%. They still have distribution with I think CMG Create Music Group, and Create Music Group probably take a 10 as or 20 as, just for the distribution aspect. But I mean, at least Tory Lanez name can sell itself, regardless of the situation he was put in. At least he can still move units, and that's obviously due to the fact that he was pushed by a major, right? His song, what's that? Do you love me? That song. What's that song? Anyways, that song that he dropped with Brownstone or whatever.
In the beginning,
in the first song that got him his deal.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It did well.
That was on the
was
Chicks tape, right?
Too.
It was on a Chicks tape. He got signed due to that,
right.
And then he dropped his albums or whatever he did, and he did well. I would say he maintained a level of stardom as his journey went through. Then he left his label, or he got dropped or whatever, and then he still was able to push units. He still was able to sell records, and that's the important thing, is being able to do that after the fact.
Yeah.
Because if you leave a label and you don't sell records, then
you're missing out on something. Yeah.
Something happened. Like, what the heck
but I think he has his fans down lock. Yeah. Like, he knows
he has his cult following.
And
he'll push towards his fan base, and that's important, even as an artist coming up.
Yeah.
Knowing where your target market is, where your audience is, and attack.
Yeah.
Right?
I think with Tory, Tory strike goal, to be honest, just being able to leave a major, and he did 5 projects with them, and he owns his masters for the 5 projects. He owns his publishing. That's for artists. That's more than gold. It's like diamond. To own your publishing, to own your masters after being signed to a major, and 5 projects. Anything that goes out, movies, TV shows, advertisement, it's 100% his own, That's on his publishing, and that's huge. That's one part of it, though. And then to leave a major at a point in your career where you're still at your peak, you're still hot, like
that would be the best time.
Your fan base is super strong. So all that attention that the major gave them over the years, and we could get into that more too, because he has certain things that he said surrounding that. But all that attention that he got from them, all the marketing that they did, the distribution, he now walked away with all of that and more. You understand? Even when he had the quarantine radio thing coming up, that helped boost his platform and stuff like that.
It did.
And so he walked away with gold, basically, and now he has the opportunity now to own everything. Plus, he has his own label, One Umbrella, that he probably has about, I would say, 5 or 6 artists on that he signed. You understand? And they're pretty much, at least I can speak for 2 of them, they're doing pretty much good. Melly and the next chick, I can't remember her name, but they're doing pretty good. So for him, Tory's like one of the I would say one of the biggest examples that you could leave a major and come over on the independent side of things and do well. But yeah, go ahead.
You do well on the majors,
Industry,
or
that's true.
half decent at least.
That's getting done. That's what's getting
right.
To,
Your name must be out there, and I think the advantage for him, and not to really go into details from the beginning, but like he understands the process. Like he hustled his way all the way through. So that's with that skill set, and then you're up there, and now you're independent. Or you already know what it's like. Yeah. So to push. And push and push and push. You have to succeed.
One of the staying power for him is that he has a core fan base,
Yeah.
That's what has him where he's at, right? He has a core fan base.
Yeah.
Whether he goes left or he goes right, that fan base is going with him. I would encourage any upcoming artist, find your audience. As small as it is, find your audience and cater to your audience, because guess what? Typical example. Let's use Boyz II Men, They probably haven't put out an album in the last 3-4 years, and some of this generation don't even know who Boyz II Men is.
Yeah, that's true.
But these guys could still go on world tours and
sell out
absolutely. Arenas, sell out stadiums,
absolutely.
Sell out, all these big places just because they had a core fan base from before. Same thing with the Eile's brothers, as old as they
Oh,
are.
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
they
yeah,
have
Oh,
a core fan.
yeah,
Your
yeah. That's
grandmother, your
classic.
grandmother and she's sister and she aunt.
And whatever.
They would-
And you know what's funny with those two is that you hear a lot of samples in a lot of the existing music, right? So it goes on. Your legacy goes on and on and on, right?
Because what happens, like you sample one of those older songs, it boosts the sale for the older song for the
Yeah.
older artists as well too.
Yeah.
Because some DJs like to play them back to back.
I love that.
You know,
Yeah.
show people the origin of it. But yeah, though, like it's super important that you find your core audience. This for all indies, period. Find your core audience and cater to your core audience.
Hell
and
yeah.
eventually, it's gonna grow. And
Yeah,
when it
once you
comes
have
to-
that relationship with your fans, right? Yeah.
And if you decide to go major after that, then you have a bigger bargain to walk into that room.
You
to
have
that
leverage.
major, that corporation, more leverage.
More
now.
leverage, yeah, that's the word, yeah.
To bargain on what you want to do as far as what type of contract you want to sign and what type of percentage you want to go with. So
Hell yeah.
that's super important, for all indies,
For anything.
yeah, all
For
creators
anything.
across the board, yo. So big up to all indies, all independent people out there.
Definitely.
Big shout out to you guys. Like, I personally want to tell you guys, yo, keep hustling, keep grinding. You understand? Keep, as Tanya said, keep being consistent. Stay in people's eyes. Stay in the. Some things requires that. Sometimes you need to pull back and take a break and reassess
Of
your
course.
Absolutely.
reassess
You
your
definitely need that.
presentation.
Hell yeah.
But once you get your presentation up and going, stay consistent, keep on grinding, keep your eyes ahead of you, because sometimes you might be looking at the response that you're getting on social media and it might be a lot, and you get discouraged and you think like, you're investing money and you're wondering like you're not getting that
Not getting
feedback. That's okay, yo.
That's
That
okay.
happens
Don't
a
get
lot.
Yeah,
discouraged.
there's tons of stories of successful people who went through that same process and they still came out on top. That's just part of the process.
Yeah. It only
And
takes
could-
one yes,
And it can
Yeah.
make you, it could break you at the same time.
Yeah.
It's all what you want out of it. And you have to understand that comes with the process, We could go into so much people, from Colonel Sanders to Eddie Murphy to Michael Jordan to Nipsey Hussle. There's so much success stories or so much come up stories that we could elaborate on that would show you that, yo, this is part of the package, and you have to just.
It's part of the journey. Like I was listening to Rose.
Yeah.
Oh.
Rose, yeah. And he was saying like he grinded for like 10 years before even like seeing anything for his music wise, right?
For
So,
sure.
the grind, it could be discouraging at times and frustrating, and it's a long time, but
And yet the funny thing about that 10 years when he wasn't seeing anything, he was in our eyes. He was
Still,
we were seeing him making moves, and we were thinking like, yo, Rick Ross. But realistically, he wasn't where he wanted to be yet, though.
Exactly.
He was making coins, he was getting that bag, but it was nothing compared to,
where he is now.
Where he is now and what he actually wanted, yo. So
Yeah.
it's super important that you stay on your grind, stay on your hustle, stay consistent. You understand? Keep pushing. Even if you're not getting the response, keep pushing, and then eventually you would find your core audience and they would log in, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Sharpen
They
your
could
craft.
definitely add to that being an entrepreneur and being a businessman. It's
Yeah, you gotta find as an indie or a creator or entrepreneur, you gotta find that thing that that's going to be successful. It could be anything. It might not even be what you want to do. It might be the secondary thing. You go into it selling candles, but you come out selling hats, and selling hats is your forte, and you didn't even realize until you started selling like 10 of them. You know what I'm saying? So it's just you just gotta you do your thing, and you do other things. But I mean, like, we can get into more of that on a later episode in terms of like how to, like, I guess there's different streams and different avenues and the different things you could do, and not just being someone that's just doing one thing.
Yeah, not be boxed into one thing or like,
Because a successful person does many things.
Right.
They got many streams.
And they never stop learning either.
And they never stop learning. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's definitely some key points. On that note, guys, we are the Come Up. Again, I am QMAJUR. This is DJ Las Vegas. This is Tanya. Thank you guys for viewing. Stay tuned for us next week, yo. Make sure to like and subscribe. share it with someone,
Well,
share it with a friend.
You can subscribe if you want, but
Yeah,
make sure y'all like because it helps the algorithm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Definitely.
comment, let us know what we could do better, what we can do less of, more of, different topics you guys want us to talk about. I mean, we got a lot
Definitely.
of knowledge. Just between the three of us, we got mad knowledge.
Yeah, definitely. And we
Yeah.
we are here just to give you guys a lot of information as possible because we know that people have dreams, goals, and they have different things that they're trying to aspire to be, but not everyone has the knowledge. Not everyone has the information, and that's the base of our podcast, to be able to give you guys as much information and equip you guys with every tool that you need to accomplish your dreams, accomplish your goals, and everything like that. All of us, we're entrepreneurs, we're indies, we are creatives, just like you, and all of us are in the process from moving from point A to point B. So as we achieve, we share our stories with you guys as well. We share information with you guys, and we give you guys everything that we have to make sure that you become successful in whatever that you're doing. Tanya?
Yeah, and share yours too in the comments.
Yeah,
Let us
yeah.
know that what you have going on. So we can peep that and just support you in your journey as well, because we're learning too. So we would love to hear from you.
That's it.
Definitely.
All right.
Yo, guys, it was nice. This is the QMAJUR podcast, our
That's
first
right.
episode. Stay tuned. Next week, we're going to be coming in with episode 2, and it's going to be fun. Thank you guys for viewing, and God bless. Peace.
Peace.
Me and my clique and my bros started with nothing but dreams and a goal. Yeah, we used to sleep on the road before we started selling out these shows. Yeah, they used